Hello, welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set, starting in 867 as a stewardship-focused landless adventurer. To start with, I received a comment that the text in my game was difficult to read, possibly because I have the resolution set so high. To hopefully fix that, I increased the GUI scaling in the settings to the maximum amount, 200%, which I think will make the text easier to read and larger on the screen. If you're watching this and you have any thoughts or comments, please let me know as to whether you like larger text, like smaller text, or if it's still challenging to read. Do want to provide the most information to everyone who is watching, and certainly interested in any comments to make the viewing experience better. So having said that, we are still playing our original character, shockingly enough. He is 103 somehow. He is completely infirm, blind, has level 1 faltering heart, and yet he just keeps on going. Our current heir is our 16-year-old son, who we had when we were either 87 or 88. At the time he was born, I assumed he was a bait or a trap, that this was one of those things CK3 does where it dangles something in front of you that you should not chase. The idea would be that I would try to slap a bunch of elective laws on my titles and try to somehow make him my heir before he was 16 years old, and I would end up basically screwing myself by putting an 8-year-old on the throne, or somehow splitting my realm, or doing something else dumb instead of just ignoring him. But nevertheless, we did educate him, and amazingly enough, he has turned 16 and he is our heir. We at the end of the last game, we made him our co-monarch. You can see the succession is relatively clean. We lose a few duchies and one county I'm currently holding to my brothers, but in terms of our core lands in Frisia, this character will get all of them, along with a random county in France that I'm still holding. And so the succession is in very good shape. There's a question here of what to do with Waelram, who now known as the Great because he reformed, or I should say reformed the Holy Roman Empire. Though he should probably be known as the Undying or the Lich King or something of that nature, given his age and his apparent refusal to die. Said, I think at this point he's not much longer for this world. We are helping keep him alive through a variety of trinkets and books that increase his health. I'm probably going to take those. Well, I'll take those off soon. I think what I want to see if we can do is get this character here, our heir, the administrative courier trait, hopefully 2-star level, so that he will advance through his stewardship learning lifestyle experience even faster. I think let's go up to max amenities, get up to see if we can get to level 10 here, which does have a very nice bonus of plus 10% vassal tax contributions. So in a sense, the amenities will almost pay for themselves. One thing that is unfortunate is we do not have a single pedestal artifact, nor do we have any furniture or throne. We're missing a lot of artifacts. Hopefully our more impressive court grandeur will help bring in some people who can improve or create some new artifacts for us. So one thing I do want to do and is to look at our vassals and basically make sure that they're all Catholic. I'm always a bit concerned about doing something like this because I'm afraid that it may not be the most exciting. But on the other hand, if you're someone who never sees a person go through and do this, you might not know to do it yourself when you're playing. And so I will say, that's something that is very important to do in a game of CK3 is to make sure, to the extent that you can, and again that you want to, that you're playing optimally, you're not role-playing something, that you want to have your vassals be the same religion as you are. If they are not, they are much more likely to rebel. Okay, so these people are mayors. I don't really care as much about mayors being the same religion because they can't do as much. This guy, is he zealous or something? Yes. All right. Someone is zealous. They are unusually difficult to convert. We'll be swaying him and let the game run, let those conversions go through. The other thing that I want to do with Waelram here, who is still in fine health, he's not even in poor health, despite the fact he's 103, is, I think, get the industrious cultural tradition for the Dutch. We haven't hybridized our culture yet. I've talked about it quite a bit, gone back and forth, but at least so far, simply haven't done it. I really like all the Dutch cultural traditions, especially once we add industrious, so I don't really want to lose them. And hybridizing with the other cultures around us, particularly French, are not going to get us any more innovations. How much? Oh, it's not that much to not do this. Do I really? Let's see here. Oh, we're going to be tacking into a scourge conqueror. I will pass on that. I will finance you, and you can feel free to waste Christian lives doing whatever you're going to do. I'll pass on the grand wedding here. Probably will hold off on creating titles. There's some concern about not creating king level titles because if I don't have them, if I don't create them and hold them, could mean some of our vassals do here in France. What happened is I had held the kingdom of France for quite a while. When I created the Holy Roman Empire, I think all of my king level titles were destroyed as part of that. That's just something that happens when you create the HRE, and then this woman had enough territory within France to reform that title, and now she holds it, which is less than ideal. Let's take a look at there are other people we can convert. Again, mayors I don't really care about. I care about dukes, counts, kings, queens. So this one's already Catholic. So I think that fixes our religious issues. Now the question is, do we want to keep conquering, keep improving our lands here? And the answer to that is certainly yes. The concern we have is West Slavia. You see, he's a scourge conqueror. The Khuzarism. I'm not exactly sure how he came over here. I mean, he's Czech. Who knows what happened? But anyway, my concern is that if I attack someone such as Carpathia here in Aquitaine, which is what I would likely want to do, that West Slavia is going to attack me. That's quite common, and it makes perfect sense that AI generally, and Scourge Conquerors in particular, will wait until you're attacking someone far away from them on the other end of your realm. When your armies are raised and you're engaged, well, then they'll attack you. Makes it much more difficult to get your armies back to fight them. So it's actually, relatively clever strategy that certainly I as a player use. So it makes perfect sense that the AI would use it. Let's fill out some of these positions here. That said, obviously I don't want to be fighting over an Occitan when I'm attacked by a Scourge Conqueror and could potentially lose some very significant land. And so what I would like to do is wait until he's attacking, he meaning this gentleman here, Emperor Hanukkah, is it? The Brute. Once he goes to attack someone else, hopefully not me, then I will go and attack Occitan. Okay, something just happened. He drew his sword. I thought he was going to war somewhere. I guess he's having a coronation. Let's see. So what I wanted to do, check and see exactly how much time we have before we can add industrious. July 18th. And the reason to add industrious is, the development growth is okay. It's nice. It was nerfed from the original, but the real reason to do it is the second point here. Water mills and windmills are very powerful economic buildings. Being able to construct them one era early, just really useful. And so that's why I want industrious. It really helps to supercharge, or don't want to overstate it. Really helps to advance your economy. Okay, so this guy is now going to his own coronation. We will certainly keep developing our capital. Our heir here got us some more gold. That's very good. So you can see here's a 1-star administrative courier. I'd like to get him that 2nd star. The 2nd star gives a bonus to your stewardship lifestyle experience, and so that is why I want it. Looks like our eldest son may be dying just of old age, even though he's 44 years younger than we are. Sort of nuts again. I don't know if we just got very lucky with this character. We are using a number of artifacts and other things that are giving him a small health bonus. Wait, what? What happened? Wait, what? I am utterly confused. So there was like a 78-year-old who was ruling West Slavia and was about to hold a coronation, and he just disappeared apparently. This gentleman, how the hell did he die? Oh, he died from a heart attack. Okay, that explained the sudden death. And then this guy took over, this dwarf who is obviously not a Scourge Conqueror. So that's good for us. What's weird is, okay, so his father... Okay, so this is not that weird. This is the grandson of this ruler, so that's okay. All right. There was something odd going on, sort of similar to how some random person took over when Sigurdur's Snake in the Eye's son died. That doesn't seem to be what's going on here. So, we do have a kingdom level Holy War CB for this character that we might as well use. The question is, where do we want to use it? See, these Yemenis, which is where this the Crusade is going. These guys are quite powerful. I think that they are going to blow up the Crusade, but who knows? Anyway, okay, back. So we could. I mean, if we could get Poland, it might be worth it. I don't know. I mean, Bohemia is largely a single duchy. How many duchies is Sorbia? Sorbia is 2. I mean, Great Moravia. What is Pannonia? Is Catholic, so we couldn't holy war against them. Gascon and Carpathia. That's a decent chunk of territory there in Aquitaine. What are the reasons not to get it, if any? What's the development look like? Looks okay generally. It's not much worse or better than other areas. Seems like development generally is low, though maybe that's just because I haven't played in 867 for a while and forgot how low development is generally. Oh, let's see. Let's go ahead and reform Dutch to get industrious. It's going to take quite a while. I do think it's worth doing. If we did not use our Holy War CB on Aquitaine, we could use it on Denmark. I assume Denmark is generally... No, Denmark is no longer tribal. It is it's feudal. It actually really seems that its development isn't too bad. Well, I guess some of the development on the peninsula isn't very good. Also go, yeah, most of these areas do not have good development. I think, I'm thinking let's not overthink it, which I probably have already done. Let's just attack for Aquitaine. This guy is military inferior to us. He's facing 3 peasant rebellions. I don't think this is going to be... Well, maybe that changes things. Maybe not. All right, let's just do this. Let's have had enough thinking about it. I don't think I should be the commander. Where is everyone? Could hold a feast. really just to make our vassals happier. I think we might as well do that. Don't need prestige. We do want vassal opinion. Okay, and so we'll be holding this feast while we siege down Akitan. Do have the sappers perk, so don't think this is going to take too long. Our army composition is a whole bunch of heavy infantry and then one stack of onagers. The reason for that is, in a regular game of CK3, you can often have maybe half of your regiments be siege equipment, and you can often just out-siege the AI. It doesn't really work as well on this level of difficulty, where you need a real army to be able to fight the AI, and especially if you're going up against a scourge conqueror. Having half your regiments be siege equipment is just an invitation to disaster. Okay, that's not much of a concern. We'll finish our war in Akitan and then turn around and beat that guy. We are finally in poor health, so the raucous entertainment we just got from our feast put us back up to fine health. Okay, we get the opportunity to make more gold here, which we will always take because I love gold. Gold is at least if you are feudal or clan, administrative, gold is really the most important resource. Let's just take a little bit of tyranny, take more gold. Always want more gold. Increase that guy's feudal taxes because want more gold. Okay, our heir now has the 2-star valued administrative courier. I think what we'll do is we'll finish this war, and also wipe out these Vikings that are attacking Neustria. Once we do that, we will unequip our current characters, various trinkets and books that are giving him health benefits, and see that basically causes him to die. Again, he has lived an extremely full life. Has truly earned the name the Great. But I believe it is time for him to pass on. I don't know why I'm hitting matrilineal. I want to marry him to someone who is beautiful or Herculean. That little girl is beautiful. That works. See where this plague is, and specifically if it is close to my capital. It is. I'm not so much concerned for my own character, unsurprisingly. I am more concerned about our heir. Let's make sure that our physician is on controlling plagues. Okay. So now we have done what we can to protect ourselves from the plague. Hopefully it is enough. Plague is destabilizing the entire realm. To me, that means desperate measures are required, so we will do that. Looks like Carpathia just took some land from Gascony. Not sure if we will get that land. If we win our okay. That's interesting. You showed up and decided, no, we don't want to do this. I mean, okay, fine. That's fine. I don't care. That's okay. That's a very interesting real life situation. You know, the Vikings show up, they start attacking, you know, try and do some sieging. They're like, man, we don't want to do this. We just rather go home. How about we white peace and call it a day? So I'm starving, which is generally very bad. If you have to fight in a serious war, you do not want to be starving. I think it's a minus 25 penalty to your advantage, so very severe. But there aren't any really important armies around me. I have no idea where Carpathia's armies are. Again, he's fighting a whole bunch of peasant rebellions, so they could be anywhere. My daughter has smallpox, which is unfortunate. I assume the smallpox is from that plague. Please don't let our heir get it. That would really be perfect to have spent all this time developing our heir and living to see him become an adult, for him to die of smallpox. It'd be a real CK3 hard mode moment. Son of a bitch. Well, let's hope this works. Damn it! Are you serious? Come on! Very funny. Very, very funny. Ha ha ha. Okay. Guess we'll go to our quick son here. It's not quite as good, but whatever. Very frustrating. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I thought he was dead. I mean, it's certainly killing everyone else. Jesus. I think after this siege, we will split up our army to regain some supply. I am genuinely surprised, though of course relieved, that my son and heir did not die. I really thought when that treatment was botched that it was over. I'm just extremely lucky, I guess. Though, of course, unlucky that the treatment was botched in the first place. So we'll... Okay. Don't you know what happened to the last guys? You know, the last Vikings showed up and are like, ah, we don't want to do this anymore. And they went home. I suggest the same for you. Lost my dog, unfortunately. Or again, maybe it's not a big deal, depending on how one looks at things. Okay, one of my older daughters. We'll recombine our army and keep sieging. We're not too far away from winning this, I don't think. And then we'll go kill those Vikings. Not a great night, but, you know, get them for 10 gold. Seems like I have an unmarried granddaughter. Now, son, you're not looking good. Looking, well, I guess not worse than my character. Let's see. Sure. Oh, you have lover's pox? Just stay unmarried. Realistically, I should probably marry with someone, but we'll give him someone not very good. I don't really want him spreading lover's pox around. I guess we'll do that. That one's fine. Whatever. There is... Okay. The plan here will be to give... all of this lands in Akitan to our dynasty members. $107. Okay, I think that's the last vassal of count or higher level who was not Catholic. So there was a rebellion or something, and the part of Akitan that Carpathia owned that we were attacking, became Toulouse. The problem is that we lost all of a big chunk of our war score because of that. This has become a rather annoying war. Simply because the land keeps getting traded back and forth. But we will soldier on here. Okay, I want to marry her to someone who is a genius, or otherwise has an intelligence trait. You look good. Doesn't need to be matrilineal since you're both of my dynasty. And you are also in the same boat. Again, doesn't need to be matrilineal since they're both my dynasty. And there you go. We will again, this is the third time we've had this event. We're still alive, not incapable. Rather remarkable. Actually, I'd rather have my player heir. Get him some extra experience. So I think if we siege down this county and then we siege Belek up here, that would be the entirety of the lands that we're fighting for, which should give us ticking war score. Maybe we already have ticking war score, yes. And in the meantime, we will go up here and fight these Vikings, Scandinavian invaders. Again, that is very odd. Specifically, when I say that is very odd, what I mean is very odd to get invaded by Scandinavian adventurers. They attack for a little while, and then they decide they want to wipe peace out. And I think I have all of Carpathia I can get here. And hopefully we will quickly get ticking war score. Meantime, let's divide up the army and resupply a bit. Could even think about disbanding them, but I don't really know. I don't know where Carpathia's armies are. No. So we'll just hang out here and regenerate a bit. Reinforce. So our succession looks the same. Waiting for this to tick up to 90. Certainly don't need anyone's troops. And finally, okay. Grant. The question is, there somewhere that has even more land that we want to give him? Don't think so, actually. So You can take Languedoc here and all the counties. Huh. Okay, not sure how you lost everything, but we will give you some more land. Try not to lose it. And then we'll give you these last two titles, likewise. Try not to lose them. We'll also give you the Duchy of Bourbon. Okay, that's my eldest son. Who has passed away, really from old age. Some more gold from my sons and relatives here. And now I think it is time to start unequipping some of this stuff. We will equip that book really for our heir. Equip that horn. See what trinkets would we want our heir to equip. Probably those two, frankly. All right, these other things we'll leave in place. Go to our books here. We'll want to use are making gold books for the stewardship experience. Also, they give nice domain taxes. See, we are in poor health now. Not surprising. Plague is destabilizing the entire realm. That means to me that desperate measures are required. Where is this plague? Hopefully nowhere near me. Good, it is not. Kind of amazing how little we're spending on unraised men-at-arms. I do think, unfortunately, that's likely to change when our current character dies. Okay, good. Someone we can sponsor. Forge a crown, the thing we don't need. Okay, well, whatever. Maybe we'll get some renown or some other benefit out of it. Let's see, is there anything else we want to do with this character before he dies? Talked before, I think about, one of the reasons we haven't had too many rebellions is because we haven't passed level 2 crown authority. We've just stayed on level 1, and I think we ought to stick with that. Okay, I'm very close to dying. That is not surprising. I do have the Know Thyself perk, so I should get notification 1 year before I die of natural causes. My assumption is that will be coming up very soon. One thing, it seems like getting a white piece with them is not as useful as just defeating them. Normally, if you defeat them, I think you get a 5-year reprieve. We've white pieced a couple times and seen them come back quite quickly. So probably better just to defeat them here. Don't think this is going to be much of an issue. Okay, so here we go. You're about to say goodbye to a real one. He certainly had an amazing life. Lived to be, probably going to live to be 110. Yeah. So, yeah, quite amazing. Let's check our pause. We will check our succession to make sure everything is fine. I mean, we could, yeah. Let's put a elective succession title on. Crap. Let's put an elective succession title on Julich as soon as this war is done, and have it passed to my primary heir. See, there's the reprieve from Scandinavian Adventures. And I think that's what we want. Probably going to be attacked a lot. Okay, so we're no longer at war. Julich, succession law, feudal elective. Let's make sure that I'm not messing anything else up. Lower Lotharingia. The reason I'd want to hold that is because I would like to have Cologne. I guess let's put a... The issue here is now this will give him 3 duchies, and so minus 15 vassal opinion, but maybe it's okay. We'll have to see how they respond. Have to see how the vassals respond to him once he becomes the emperor. Anything else? We can demand some payments. Let's do that. Make sure that we can't modify anyone else's contract. Doesn't look like it. Might as well take gold from him. The others, they're probably leave our heir to deal with, and I mean we could cash in these hooks. Probably doesn't matter much either way. Let's check to make sure everyone important is Catholic. Okay, we're organized by rank. These are all just mayors. Don't care about mayors. Is there anything else we ought to do before this character dies? I don't think so, really. I mean, our court amenities are quite expensive at this point. May need to cut back a little bit. I am mildly curious what silly thing will pop up as to why this character is remembered. Instead of being remembered as the greatest landless adventurer of all time, who reformed the Holy Roman Empire, he'll probably be known for holding a lot of feasts or something. One last opportunity to get gold from our subjects. We'll happily take that. I mean, it's not a bad crown, really. If I didn't have a crown, I'd be happy to have this one, but obviously it's not as good as the Reichskrone, probably. I mean, that courtly vassal tax contribution of plus 3% is pretty nice. We'll be leaving our son quite a lot of gold here. That's obviously very good. No particular reason to make that change, really. We just filled out the Marshall tree the same way that some people hate border gore. I hate unspent perk points. It just annoys me, perhaps irrationally, but I don't want to see unspent perk points, so I'm not going to. I will take action to prevent that. 110. We could have gone on one last grand tour if we'd have lived a little bit longer. Oh well. Nope. Didn't realize I had a pause there. Keep running. See if anything wacky has happened to West Slavia. Ruled by this craven, dry dwarf. And this goes to something I talked about earlier at one point. The game rule we're playing on for Scourge Conqueror says all heirs inherit, but it simply isn't true. This guy did not inherit the Scourge Conqueror trait, even though his grandfather held it and he was his grandfather's heir. Now, Why didn't he inherit it? I don't know. It could have to do with him being craven or shy, or it could be random. I just don't know. But it's clearly the case that sometimes a Scourge Conqueror's heirs do not inherit the Scourge Conqueror trait, even though they should. So the question is, I want to throw this guy in jail on the idea that he is likely to be rebellious against my heir. And by putting him in jail, he won't be able to rebel against my heir. That'll make my heir succession easier. I think I am in fact convinced by that line of reasoning, and you can go to jail, buddy. All right. Kaiser Waelram, the HRE, died after 110 years. On life is the great. Paragon of valor and gallantry. Cordial and just nature in the face of all odds. I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Better than we could have said. Probably should have said he's remembered for, reforming the HRE, among other things, but it's okay. All right, we will now clean up our pinned characters here. We will pin our spouse. See, we are a couple over the domain limit. We're holding 5 duchies. That we probably do not want to do. And the question here is, would we want to take the lands from the county of Holland, for example? I think we'll just grant these titles out. Give the Duchy of Holland to you. The Duchy of Utrecht to you. Don't think we need the County of Sens. It's just, quite far from the rest of our territory. We can give it to this nephew. Let's make sure we have all of our court positions filled out, at least all that we want to have filled out. Particularly want the people that keep us alive, including a bodyguard. Usually have them go adventuring, because adventuring just gets you such powerful artifacts. For this, I almost always go well focus. Back when domain limit depended on stewardship, I would usually go domain focus, but with the change, I think it's just better to get the plus 10% income. There are arguments for duty focus under the circumstances we face now, but I think we'll still go with wealth focus. And I'll start going down the avaricious tree, and we'll go from there. So train for a tournament. And we had to pass up a whole bunch of tournaments. as our prior character. Here we will want to go on as many tournaments as we can. Can negotiate a whole bunch of alliances, mostly with people inside our realm. The one outside, I think happy to negotiate these internal alliances. Because we're playing on very hard, we can only propose through marriage 2 external alliances, one major and one minor. But that does not apply to alliances from blood, and so we can get those. Might as well as develop the capital and then be entertained by the court jester. No, what did I just click off? Main thing is going to be crap. Not sure how long he is going to live. He will not give us an anointment. We will go on a pilgrimage to get the necessary piety. Take a short pilgrimage to Cologne. We want powerful vassals in our positions, as I say, the positions in our council. We will nominate our player heir for all of our elective titles. Currently that is this gentleman. I assume as time goes on we will have some children, hopefully, who will instead be our heir. I'm traveling in my pilgrimage, sure. Okay, let's let time run a bit and see what happens. I think I'm fine with losing that prize ring. Too bad both of you are terrible at martial. These guys really hate me. Okay, we can grant vassals to the rightful liege. I think, interestingly enough, France is not a problem. I don't believe, so we don't have to grant her vassals to her yet. We'll do the others and see if that helps. I'll stay a witch. So the magic number is 80. If someone has plus 80 opinion of you, if a vassal that is, you know, they should drop from their faction. All right, we have a new pope. To some extent, this is what I was afraid of in terms of all the factions. We'll max out. Do think of press attendees is what we want to do. Cultural ambassador, because we're crossing the Alps. We want mountaineers because the Alps is so dangerous. Probably hit some points of interest on the way there. Actually, it would be nice if I could get a single perk in diplomacy, since that would allow me to get thoughtful, double the opinion impact from gifts, which would be very powerful. Surprisingly large amount of gold there. I kind of think we just give up Lower Lotharingia. You know, if we get we get Cologne at some new future point, you know, that's great. We'll give it up for now. See, I want to gift her an artifact. Can I not do that? Huh. Now maybe that's something because I'm traveling to my coronation, and that can affect artifacts that I can't gift my artifacts away. Okay, so some of these factions are falling below the military threshold. That's very good. As soon as we are done with our coronation, we will go to university. Try to get our 5th star for our education trait. Just barely below the threshold. When I say they, I mean the factions. Let's make sure our book here is active. Yep, 40% monthly lifestyle experience, just amazing. We are missing a trinket. We will fix that. Give ourselves some more health. Now we will wait a little while and see what happens here. Happy to send him off to get a good artifact, hopefully a good one. Slightly higher quality, sure. Possess something truly unique. Guess we'll give those guys some gifts and see what happens. You are genuinely terrible. You are terrible at everything. I guess we'll have her be our steward for now, even though she is genuinely awful. Really got my magnificence knocked down by these factions or detractors, a lot of them. I guess we'll just take the artifact. I'm happy to have her become my friend. Prevents her from joining factions. think that's a good idea. Happy to increase cultural acceptance. That looks good. Get some vassal opinion. Alright. Have some rivals. Don't want Pope Clemens mad at me, so we'll go with the bottom option there. This one, I guess the top, it seems like whatever you do, you lose, that 75 prestige. Okay, becoming supporters of or stop being a tractor is also good, so yes. Get the Hair Guild for the extra taxes. We are up to level 4 magnificence. We'll get the bottom one here to get our piety and level of devotion up. See if we can make our wife a Catholic. Huh. Shape the realm. We've built quite a lot. Foster enlightenment, I don't think. We're going to have a university. Isn't that a requirement? Do you have a university? Huh. Oh, no. Okay, need 30 development or higher. That's going to be the challenge. Hopefully we will get a 5th level education trait. Get 50 years to do it. Really the other option is this or strengthen the house. I think let's go with foster enlightenment. It may not even live that long, frankly. The increase in magnificence. Increase in magnificence sounds good, along with some opinion gain. Head back home. It's like the Byzantines are starting to swallow up Italy, which isn't great, of course. Should be just enough to tip him. Okay. So we almost want to certainly do a university visit. And then after that, we will do a grand tour. We'll change our wife to patronage to get our learning up as high as possible. 29 is fairly good. We'll go to Cluny, since it's both a university and a large religious center. Don't need the Mountaineers anymore. We will spend maximum amount of study materials, and then here we go. Likely we'll call the episode after this university trip, and we will open our next episode with the grand tour. Change our wife to court politics for a moment. Probably should have done that prior times we did this. Let's see if we can send some gifts with more impact since she's on court politics, and then go back to patronage. Hopefully that will get those two to drop out. Did. That's good. Check again. Let's make sure our wife is on patronage. Yes. Okay. So again, what makes the factions really tricky here is we have two rule differences that increase the rebelliousness, willingness to join factions of our vassals. Specifically, we are playing on very hard. That makes vassals more rebellious against the player character and less rebellious against AI lieges. We are also playing on lesser realm stability, which makes vassals more rebellious against everyone. And so, again, two levels of increased rebelliousness, increased willingness to join factions compared to normal. And so it makes succession even more challenging. In a normal game of CK3, successions, I think, are far and away the most challenging parts of the game. Here, that's not quite true because facing off against Scourge conquerors is the most challenging part of the game under this rule set. That said, because we have the two rule changes that make our vassals even more rebellious, more willing to join factions, our successions are still quite challenging. I am not getting very many events at this university trip. I'm not getting the opportunity to increase my studiousness. Hope this goes through. Okay, it did. Don't think. Oh, great. Excellent. Wonderful. So Golden Sovereign, vassal taxes plus 25%. Just amazing. We get the extra domain limit, so now we are within the domain limit. Knowledge is power. So yeah, just a huge benefit there. 4-year wife here. Daughter. Obviously, we want a son at some point. If it were earlier in the game, the fact that she's intelligent would be really argue in favor of having her in my court. But I think we are finding enough intelligent women and men to marry our family members to, so I will take the gold instead. Huh? I'm a bit surprised that I can already do this oath. I thought we need to have a development of 30 or more. Yeah, this oath seems a lot easier than I thought it would be. Okay. And can I change the barony? Sure, let's make it be Emden. Sure, great. You know, happy to have the prestige and everything. So we get a university there. I mean, wonderful. Okay. I mean, I will certainly take it. I'm not too sure about that happening, but okay, that's something to keep in mind, that perhaps fostering enlightenment is easier to do than at least than what I thought it said. Let's sway you, since you dislike me so much and you are my rival. You know, I see that the King of France is a minor. Minors can't join factions. That could have been one of the reasons we haven't seen him bothering us yet, since he certainly does hate us. We may need to give him the various duchies that belong to his kingdom level title. Okay. You know, I think things here have gone about as well as as they could have gone reasonably. Our first ruler character finally died. Now playing as his heir. Succession. Again, you just expect you have to pay out some here. Okay, this guy's a scourge conqueror. That's something we need to keep in mind. We're probably going to have to fight him at some point. One thing probably should start next game with is, well, let's do it now just so I have it in mind. Let's take a quick look at who these scourge conquerors are in the world. Yemenis. We know where he is. He's in Arabia primarily still. He'll have to get through the Byzantine Empire most likely before he gets to us. That guy's in India. That guy is, I believe, pretty... Okay, no, he's over... Wait, where is he? Okay, so he's in the middle of the steppe. You have to get through Russia. So I think maybe the only real concern here, is the Al-Andalus Scourge Conqueror. Assume he has a bunch of Mubarazim or something. He does not. That's incorrect. So that's good news at least. He has a 5-star Exalted Warlord, so it's not good. Okay, but so that's something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I think we're doing relatively well here. Just keep building up our empire. We can use our Holy War CBs to see about picking up some territory around us. Probably once I complete the stewardship tree the extent that I want, I'll go learning and get sanctioned loopholes again. We can use that to good effect. But I think everything is going relatively well. Thanks very much for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you join us for the next episode. And in particular, let me know what you think about the increase in text size. Hopefully it makes it easier for people to see, especially if they're looking on small devices. Thanks again. Goodbye.